Namaste. Welcome to Dawkins Enterprise. You're here today with Sister Sharice, and thank you for stopping by. Special thanks to all those who have recently subscribed and all of my other subscribers and my day one A1. All right. I desire to always remain in my highest vibration. I'm seeking peace for the whole land. Y'all know it's a lot of stuff going on. I'm grateful to the Most High, my ancestors, my spirit guides, the angels, all of the protection that surrounds me. That fruit I left out over there. Anyway, today I just like to talk a little bit, Just talk to the channel, which I haven't been doing a lot of. I've been making a lot of shorts. I have been not well lately. This is my second go round of medication for a sinus infection that became the walking pneumonia or whatever. So I have a little while longer before I finish this medicine they gave me. And, the breathing machine is what really is helping a lot. And that will keep it from getting to that level. The last time this happened to me like this, I think it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I have to look at the date. It had to be 6 years because I still had that black car that just mysteriously poof. It ain't the first car that just gone poof, be gone. And I just go get me another one. I don't have time to be trying to play in their mazes and everything. But anyway, they had hospitalized me. For 5 days, I had an IV in my arm with this same this antibiotic that I'm taking right now. So, of course, through your veins, it goes quicker and more stronger through your system than in pill form, like I'm taking it. But I'm going to stand next to this working this time. Send positive vibes my way. So, I want to just talk about myself for a moment. I was the only child from generations of only children. When I was younger, most of my friends, associates, the people in the neighborhood, there were lots of people in the households, Nobody was hardly an only child, If it was, they had a sister or a half-brother or somebody somewhere. And I just went around, I went to everybody's house, When you're younger, you go to the people on the block. As you get older, you go to the next block and the next block. People, you go to school with them, and that's what we used to do. We weren't doing that. We had a lot of fun, though. I don't know. The children these days, I think it's something that they're missing out on because I had so much fun in my childhood and missed all the other things that were going on, that I always have something to revert back to get myself back right, to remember who I am, a foundation. And we have to have that because we talk about relationships. And this is what the title of this is, relationships. On my new series called Relationships, I'm going to be talking about all different types of relationships. Situationships, I've had those. The one we're going to talk about today, partnerships, entrepreneurships, all different types of ships. But today we want to talk about the relationship you have with yourself, which is most important. It's impossible. It's impossible to have a relationship with other people and you really don't know who you are, what you like. All of us have been programmed from birth. Period. Dot. They set up a school system where they took information that they want to promote and they taught it to all of us. And then, when you grow up, you find out those things are not really true. And a lot of things. So, when I was growing up, my God, St. Louis, where I grew up here. No, I'm not here in the Ville, but I grew up in the Ville neighborhood. Historically black, it's got a lot of rich history, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. A lot of people would look at me and, like my mother, there was a flight. They call it the flight to the county, suburb, whatever, in the 70s, and we didn't take it. Excuse me. It's coming up now, though. See, I had been walking around, not coughing, thinking I was all right, and it was steady packing inside. So I'm grateful that it's coming up. Excuse me to all of you out there in YouTube land. So anyway, go to the neighbors. You go to the people from the next block. And I always was in awe with these families. It was just me and my mother in the house. That is a whole different lifestyle than people with 6 brothers and sisters, people with 8 brothers and sisters. I grew up with people that had 10 and 12 and more. It was certain families that had a lot of people, and I was all there was like, that's my auntie, and that's my cousin, and that's my cousin, but y'all the same age. And, it was just fascinating to me, So I was always a curious child, I got along with everybody. From one house to the next house, and be all over up and down on Evans. All up and down on Page. Back there on Taylor. Go on the other side, Maffett. Got a little older. We started riding bikes. We were all the way in Walnut Park on Claxton and all that. That's even before driving. Because it's the curious. And, children, they're not able to do that anymore, They're not able to tap into who they are. They're not able to be curious, And it's not promoted to just explore. You understand? So anyway, I knew that I was different, from everyone. Even in school. I didn't really go to the cafeteria, but when I did go to the cafeteria, I went to all the tables. When I look at a person, I accept that person for who they are. I am at awe at the creation of God. God has made each and every one of us exactly the way they are. And who am I to stand before God in between what God created? And I thought that I don't even have a thought like that. I'm just like you see flowers. It's all different kind of flowers. Some have purple leaves, some have green blossoms and yellow, and some this and some that. And it's all right. I've seen all different kind of people. And for the most part, I get along with people wherever I go. I don't have conflict. And when conflict show up, I get out the way. Because you got to partake in things for them to become stirred up. And when I am self-master. I said that wrong. It's all good. You know what I'm saying. I got excited. But anyway, it's heartfelt to me because the children are missing out on so much. You know, I see them playing and stuff. My grandchildren, they be outside. You know, I used to make my daughter go outside. She didn't have anybody. She was by herself, but I made them. And some of them, they out there, but it's limited because of the world that we live in today. Even a couple of years ago, and that's when all that gang stalking stuff was going on with me. I was staying over there at my daughter's house. And I be seeing grown men coming out their back for us that don't even look like they belong around there nowhere. And I had made them come in and not go out there for a while, you know, because there's a lot of stuff going on out here. You have to protect your people. When I was living on Aldine, we used to leave the doors open, the windows. You know, I'd be afraid to just fall asleep with my window open because today is today and not yesterday. You hear me? But we used to make pallets out in the backyard. You know, I remember 10, 11, 12, 13, just looking up in the night sky. I've always been fascinated with the sky, looking at every night. Since I can remember, I have wished on a star. Since I was a little girl, I still do that. I love the sky. It's so pretty at night. And the stars and the moon. Even in the daytime. But we cannot do in comfort the things, or the children today cannot do the things that me and my generation did, you know. And then we still have to keep in mind that that was the time where all the civil rights and the loving yourself and black is beautiful was occurred. It was all right to be who you are. Nowadays, people seem to feel like everybody want to look the same. And in real life, everybody got free will. If y'all all want to look like that or a certain kind of way, power to the people. That's what I say. But what happens in this world we live in today, if you don't want to look like them, they want to do something to you. Talk to you bad. Talk about you bad. Think about me. I really never cared about what nobody said or anything. Then a long time ago, I found out, you know, the ones that's doing the most talking, later on you find out they was your biggest fans. You know, many, many, many years ago, when I first started seeing the pattern, you know, I dye my hair a certain color, and they dye their hair a certain color. I buy a blue car, they'll buy a blue car. And I started noticing. But Spirit told me not to be offended. You know, that was years ago. I was in my 20s. Not even 30s yet, I don't think. No. Yeah, in my 20s. Spirit told me do not get offended. So, I was offended at first. But when Spirit told me to not be offended, out of obedience, I let that go. But now, here, 20 plus years later, I have an understanding. Because it's not about that. Most of the things that we How we react to things is total out of alignment. But how can we be in alignment when we've been taught incorrectly about everything? So, you have to take the time to get to know who you are, not the programmed you, because we've all been programmed. I have to question everything because I know I went through the school systems. I watched the TV programs. I got jingles in my head still to this day that don't even come on TV or play anywhere anymore. Because I have been through the matrix, but I'm out the matrix. So you always have to be aware. Always check yourself. Because you know, is this my thought or is this a thought that's been programmed? Is this my thought? Is this coming from inside me or has this been planted from outside me? That's how you get to know yourself. Take the time. See, this world got us moving so fast. I gotta be over here. I was like that. Just going. And ain't doing nothing. No progression, no growth. Because it's all by design. And whose fault it is irrelevant. We take our time focusing on the wrong things a lot of times. And you're going to keep doing it. You're going to catch yourself. You're going to keep doing it. You're going to catch yourself. What is my focus? Oh, who am I? You'll be all on something else again. And forget, I'm trying to go within myself, you know. See who I am. It was when I was 50 years old. When I put my foot down. You know a thing for a long time, but then you put your foot down, then you put the work in, and you start checking yourself, you start stopping yourself, you start correcting yourself. You hear what I said? Yourself. But what do? We looking at everybody else. Look at, you see how, you see how she turned. You see how she tilted today? Wasting your time. Because this, you look at yourself. You fix yourself. You trip out, why did I do that? And that's how you'll get to know who you are. You know? You have to forgive yourself. Because I know me, my mother, she called me a little revolutionary, because I was hot-tempered, because when you find out what happened to the indigenous people, us, of this, when I first found out, I was so angry, I was so hot, I was so mad, I was like, how could they, till I found out that's just what they want. It's a big game that's being played. So you have to find yourself comfortable. It's something in the book. I know it's a lot of Bible reading people here, or out here, or in this world. It say, what? Life is a journey. Look at it like a trip. A journey. We got to quit taking things so personal. We got to be comfortable wherever we are, because wherever we go, we are still there. A lot of people run from things. They be running, Maybe you done got into some stuff and things happen. It's important not to be judgmental. And we are our own worst enemy. You check yourself, yes, but don't judge, because it's multiple reasons, and most of them ancestral things that we are doing and we don't even know why we're doing it. But my breath, talking. I'm going to take a breathing treatment when I get off of here. But what I'm saying is always be able to adapt to any environment. And if you know who you are and comfortable with who you are, you can do that without trying to hurt others because of your insecurities. You feel me? We got to get better. And nobody could do like what's the thing they say? You can pull the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. You are the only person that can change yourself. Nobody else. Any of the people that call themselves helping, either you're making it worse or you're stepping in the way of karma. And I remember when the Holy Spirit led me to understand that sometimes you are stepping into people's karma that I'm issuing. How dare you get in the way of what I'm doing? That's what the Creator said to me. I was like, oh, I thought I was helping. He's like, no, you help when I say help. You don't even know everything. I had to say, yes, I got it. And that's what's real. The only thing that we can, you can plant seeds, you can encourage, you can be an example, but it's up to individuals, and nobody should judge anybody. And I'm sorry that if you do, because the law of attraction says that what you put out is that you attract. So you scheming and conniving, don't be mad when every time you turn around, somebody scheming and conniving you, because that's what you put out there. When you trying to be slick, then you're going to run into a whole lot of people trying to be slick with you. When I see people in their shenanigans and everything, who am I to tell grown people what to do? That's not my business. I see it. If I ain't, if it's some funny stuff going on, I dismiss myself. In the book, in that Bible, y'all read, it say that too. If you're not welcome, your practices ain't appreciated. It say, dust your feet at the door and keep it stepping. Don't even trip. I don't have a right to be mad at people because they don't think like me. I have to respect people's individual thoughts and their being, because that's our only thing we need to do is be. I'm not trying to be somebody else, I can admire a star. I'm going to say that. I'm going to use this because this is one of my favorites. Anita Baker, baby. I love me some Anita Baker. Still to this day, I love her. As a songstress. I've never met her. I don't know her personally, nothing. And I'm not the kind to try to be getting in her business. It'd be cool stuff you read about it. Be like, yay. You want to cheer for people, celebrate them and everything. But I love me some Anita Baker. I love, she do that rocking thing, she did or whatever. I saw her in concert at the Fox Theater. Me and Demetri Nichols, we went, we was cute. Was blow drying my hair and everything. Had the hot curls, doing it. Sometimes in the 80s, whatever. But do I want to be Anita Baker because I admire her and respect her? No, because I know God created all of us. It's a little net in here, y'all. Created all of us. That's that fruit. I'm going to throw this stuff out. But each one of us, like, to get a hand, if I'm the finger, my neighbor is this finger, you know what I'm saying? And it takes all of that. If everybody want to be the pinky finger, we wouldn't even have a hand. People be all in God's business and don't even know. So, let's just relax a little bit. Take some time to ourselves to just sit. I got a bucket list right there. I'm finna pin it on that thing in there because I started it when I was 50, and guess what? All I did was write some stuff on the paper. I ain't did now one. We bilingual, right? Bilingual. I speak Ebonics. And I know some people, I hear that. How she talking? Let me tell you something. I am very comfortable with Sharice. I am. And I try to help people get comfortable with themselves. And the reason is there's some things that's inside. There's some insecurities. There, you know, I'm for everybody, you know? And we got to get ourselves out of that mindset. You know, I've spent a lot of time with people individually. And I see how they turn that inner voice turn on and be like, oh, why'd you say that? Oh, they beat themselves up with their words. Sitting in a room full of people and don't nobody know it, but they can hear it. It's all in there. Their voice in their head is steady, like kicking them. So you have to counteract it. Ain't nobody else gonna do it but you. You have to reprogram that voice in your head. But first, you got to just get out the mindset. So before we get on into that, just take some time to be with yourself. Start practicing gratitude. Say out loud what you're grateful for, you know. I'm grateful for this roof, baby. I am. I'm grateful that I understand, overstand, that I don't have to worry about anything. I'm grateful that I keep an open mind. I'm grateful that I know that I had been programmed. I'm grateful that what is the word? I'm grateful that it is undeniable that I have an intuition and I trust my intuition. What they say, trust your gut. I'm so grateful for a multitude of things. And every day I practice saying it out loud. Remember, even though that Roots thing, that's a whole nother story, but in that movie Roots, every time the babies was born, what did they do? They took it out and they held it up to the universe. Every baby, and they said some things. Ooh, that was a long time ago. I can't remember. But we got to go out in nature. Breathe in that fresh air. It's going to clear it up. I'm telling you how to knock that stuff out of your head. You do not have to listen to me. But I invite you to try it. You know, like when a pot is real dirty, like old, you know, you got to sit it on the stove and put water, put some vinegar and stuff in there, and let it boil. It takes time. But baby, when you get through that pot, be like, oh, when you get this new pot. Hey, we could be brand new ourselves. Start practicing speaking out loud what you're grateful for. Put your feet in some grass outside. Start grounding. Sit under a tree. Take some walks outside. Go outside. Then take you about 15, 20. If you can do more. And just meditate. Just focus on nothing but your breathing. Just start right there. I guarantee you, when you start focusing on yourself, all that stuff that's making you anxious, all these things in your life, it's causing you to have headaches, stomach aches, worry, being stressed about it, they'll start to disappear. So start practicing self-love. You know, we always talk about who we love and everything. We are not loving ourselves. So let's love on ourselves. Start watching the things that we're putting in our bodies, what we eat, what we're drinking, what we're looking at and listening to as well. So put some boundaries up when you do recognize some things, because we be moving so fast that we be missing stuff sometimes. That if we weren't moving so fast, we probably would have seen it. And this thing is surprisingly to me that I have to say it, but drink water. I'm dehydrated right now, but I you know how many medicines they kept me taking? I don't even like pills. I hate taking swallowing these big old pills. I got eye drops. I got decongestant medicine. I got a lot of stuff over here I'm taking. It's my last week for these antibiotics. And no, I just finished the steroids. So, be your authentic self. When you look in the mirror and you be real with yourself and what you see, and if you don't like it, just change it. This is why we're here on earth. The thing we're here to do, it seems like so many people are afraid of. Because of what my daddy gonna think. Because of my cousin over there. She gonna tell the rest of them and they gonna look at me a certain kind of way. And all them people miserable. And you're probably the one they waiting on to do it so they can follow you. So give it a try. 3:33:33 on my clock. Give it a try. And that's my life path number. So, my mother always said, Sharice, everybody has their own agenda. And my father always said, everything that's supposed to happen, happens. This is the first of the episodes of relationships where I am talking about having a relationship with yourself. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video. And I am trying to learn this stuff about YouTube. But I'm really getting better. I'm getting my rest. I'm not intellectually working or anything too much right now because I'm trying to get this stuff up out of my body. So until we see one another again, stay peaceful. Shalom.